You just decide not to shoot around today? What was kind of
It just felt like it. Yeah. It's like the last day of school. Nobody goes to school till 3 o'clock on the last day of school. You let them out at 12. So I let them out early.
Will you practice Thursday, Friday?
We will not practice tomorrow. We'll have a meeting. We'll go through our preparation, video-wise, strategy-wise. We will not be on the floor. We'll have a good practice Friday, and then we'll see. We don't know yet, obviously, when we're going to play, and so we'll go from there.
What have you thought of the Lakers?
I think Luke's done an amazing job. I mean, you consider the circumstances, where that team was at the end of last year, the amount of youth on that team, first year without Kobe, making that adjustment, and the start they got off to was really indicative of the joy that Luke brought back to the team and the daily routine and the energy with which they've played, and then reality kind of set in. You have to have talent in this league, and obviously the Lakers haven't had enough, and so it's been very trying for him. Losing is so difficult on everybody in this league. Luke is such a competitor. I know it was tough, but I'm happy for them that they are finishing the season the way they are. They won 5 in a row. I think it's a good sign. I know everybody's going to talk about the lottery chances and all that stuff, but I think it's great. You finish the season on a winning note. You go out and win some games. You carry that into the next year, and Luke's in it for the long haul. And I would imagine the Laker front office is in it for the long haul with Luke too. They know what a special person he is, what a great coach he is. So it's a process. It's going to take a while, but I think they made the right step to start this first year.
Yeah, what does it say about him that at a time when everyone wants them to tank, he's coaching them some of their
He's incapable of going out there and trying to lose. Good for him.
Hey, Steve, you have teams to coach, but how much has he talked with you during the season, just bouncing ideas off of you and all that?
We've talked. We talk every few weeks. It's not an everyday thing, but we text frequently, and then we talk every few weeks. Every once in a while, he'll have a question for me, or I'll have a question for him. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? He knows our team as well as anybody, obviously, and so I've asked him some things, and then he's had some advice to ask of me occasionally. So it's been nice to stay in touch, but we definitely miss having him around.
What's your sense of what you think he's learned about himself and just adapting to that head coaching role once he started to go through it?
Honestly, he's a natural. He showed that last year. He had one season under his belt as an assistant coach, and he stepped into the role when I was out and crushed it. And the guy's a natural, so I don't know how much he's learned about himself, other than maybe patience, with having to deal with losing. But one of the reasons he's a natural is because he's so laid back and patient anyway. He's not a guy who's going to lose his cool. And the fact that you combine that quality with his tenacity and competitive desire, it's a unique combination. They don't always go hand in hand, but I think they serve a coach really well.
Last year at this time, 73 wins. There's so much practice about that. That's been somewhat more relaxing this year without those conversations taking place.
Yeah, it's more subdued this year, more businesslike. It's similar to 2 years ago in terms of the way the season ended. We had the 1 seed locked up for the last week or two seasons ago, and we were able to kind of, decide how we wanted to go into the postseason. The difference was now we've been doing this for a few years, and that year it was brand new. There was a freshness about it. This year it's more businesslike. It's like, all right, we've been through this. We know where we are, and let's make sure we're prepared and ready for game 1 of the playoffs. And that's why we've been able to kind of play the way we have, the last few games, just kind of easing into it, resting some guys, and making sure we're full throttle game 1.
There was a lot of debate last year, 3-9, whether it took anything out of the team.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're in a better place, the team, mentally and physically this year?
I think we're in a great place. I thought we were in a great place last year. We were fully healthy going into the year, going into the postseason. Excuse me. You know, Steph gets banged up the first game of the playoffs, which had affected his whole run. You can't account for that stuff, and you know, it's you try your best to keep your eye on guys and to keep them fresh. But honestly, Steph was perfectly fresh going into last season's postseason. He played 33 minutes a game, and so this year, you know, we're doing what we can to make sure guys are, you know, ready to roll. But you never know what's going to happen.
Steve, that was yesterday when Kevin and Steph were having what seemed like a 45-minute shooting marathon competition. Do you get a kick out of that stuff? I mean, and then maybe not pinch yourself, but remind yourself, wow, look, I've got both these guys on my roster.
It was really fun for me to watch too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really fun to think about. Oh yeah, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, they're on our team, so that's fun.
Are they doing that more regularly since
No, yesterday was the first time I've seen that in a while. They didn't do it today. It was just something they mixed into their routines.
Klay's obviously no ability, but what makes him, in your mind, an elite perimeter defender?
Stamina, size and strength. He's better on the ball than off the ball, so we put him on the ball quite a bit because he's he just hounds the ball handler, and he never seems to get tired. And what makes it amazing is that he's also running like crazy on the offensive end, the way we play. You know, he's Reggie Miller, Rip Hamilton. He's flying all over the floor, coming off screens, making these 25-footers. And then at the other end, he's hounding Damian Lillard or James Harden or Russell Westbrook. You know, it's incredible, that combination. And to me, playoffs generally come down to having two-way players. You know, it's regular season. You can mix and match and hide guys and find matchups that you like. But the playoffs, you got to have as many two-way players on the floor as possible. And Klay, you know, when you hear people talk about the best two-way players in the game, you know, Kawhi is always mentioned, as he should be. You know, LeBron is always mentioned. Klay needs to be on that list. And people should recognize him. But I think his shooting kind of overshadows his defensive contribution sometimes.
Steve, practices just kind of spice things up, had them play some dodgeball.
Yeah.
Is that something you guys had done? Is that something
we never played dodgeball. We actually talked about it this year. I was scared to death that somebody would get hit in the eye. So we didn't do it, but it doesn't surprise me. You know, I think Luke and I agree on that philosophy of trying to keep things fresh and different and trying to mix in some crazy stuff now and then.
Yeah, another thing, I mean, he was saying that he saw firsthand just the value of what you guys did of bringing outside speakers in and that sort of thing. What do you think that's done, the last time?
We try to mix it up for that reason, just to keep things interesting.
A few games ago, I saw you wearing Supervillains T-shirt. How much have you noticed the national change over the last couple of years from everybody's darlings to a little bit of that, the team people want to be?
I think we started to feel it last year, maybe midway through. I've never felt like we were villains. I think that's one of the reasons we sort of made fun of it. It's because it's really kind of silly. We got one of the most likable groups around, and our guys are all great with the media, great with the fans. So I don't think anybody really truly sees us as villains, but I think what happened over the last year or so is what always happens in sports. When a team wins at a really high level, there's suddenly a lot of interest in that team, and it generally splits in two. You got people who love the team and people who are dying to see them knocked off. I saw it with the Bulls for years, and it's a great position to be in. It's great for the league. It's you get a team that generates that much interest, and whether it's love or hate, it's interest, and interest is good.
Are there some players on the team who you think have embraced the darker side of that split?
No, that's why we keep making fun of it. It's embracing it would mean like actually playing the role of the villain, I think, and we sort of scoff at it. Cool. All right. Thank you.